talking backstage, and she told me that she wanted me to come out and dance with her, and I said, I don't dance. I just fly fish. And so she got everybody else to do that. I'm glad that you did that, Corey, because I was not going to do that. You know, this is a pretty interesting stage. It's pretty white, Cody. It's pretty cool, but I see all these scuff marks from everybody dancing. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. I get to draw circles today. I get to talk to you about the compensation plan. I get to talk to you about how it all works. I get to talk to you about the vision that creates financial freedom. I get to talk to you about the stuff that allows you to do what you want to do when you want to do it and who you want to do it with. I get to talk to you about the money. And I like doing that. I love doing that. You know, I learned a long time ago that we can chase other people's dreams or we can chase our own. And there's lots of different types of income out there. You know, linear income, that's where you get paid once, and then the next month you got to do it again. You have to trade time for dollars, that kind of stuff. And most of my life, that's what I did. There was a few years ago, I was driving down the road, and I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was working about 10 hours a day. I lived out of state. My family lived in one state, and I lived in another, and I hated it. And a friend of mine gave me a tape. It was a cassette tape, not a CD. That tells you how long ago it was. And I started to listen to it. And it was a guy named Robert Kiyosaki. And he said this. He says, you need to learn what wealthy people know. Now, he said a definition that I just absolutely loved of wealth. He says, wealth is when you stop doing something, it continues. So if you want to know how wealthy you are, stop working. And when your money runs out, that's how much wealth you had. That really resonated with me. And I started to think about that and ponder it. And, you know, the funny thing is wealth. What is wealth? When you stop doing something, it continues. Now, how do you create wealth? You create it through leverage. That's the only way you can do it. There's two types of leverage. That's either leveraging your time or your money. And when I started in send-out cards, I had no money. But I had time that I could go out and start this leverage process. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about a little bit about the journey of send-out cards. You see, when I first got involved in send-out cards, I didn't know Cody Bateman. I didn't know who he was. A friend of mine named Dave Pollard sent me a DVD. I watched it. I got excited about these greeting cards. We did not have gifts back then. It was just a greeting card. You couldn't even put a picture in the card when I started. But I was excited about the idea of keeping in touch with people and building a business that maybe I could get home, you know, make a little bit of extra income and get home. So I started to work this business, and I didn't know Cody. And one time, my trip from New Mexico to Utah, I was driving. I stopped into the office, and I met a man named Cody Bateman. And he was just in the office. It was really interesting. The office was, how many square feet was that? About 3,000 square foot garage. It had a big old garage in the front. And Cody's office was right over there by the printer. The printer was about this big. And it looked like a copy machine to me. You know what I mean? They used to go and they'd put the things in, and then they'd turn them over, and they'd print the other side. And Cody's office was right there. And I remember going there, and I was all excited about these, because they had these beautiful cards. The cards were as beautiful then as they are now. But they had this little machine, and Cody's office was right next to it. And I remember him coming up to me, and I said, "Hi, I'm DeMarr Zimmerman." He goes, "Well, I'm Cody Bateman." you know, we're going to be $1 billion company. And I looked at it around and I go, are you serious? But then he looked me in the eye, okay? And I'm telling you, he had a glimmer in his eye. And you know what he said? No, I'm serious. And I was stupid enough to believe him. And he painted the picture and the vision in my mind of what this company could do. Now, he didn't know all the details of how we were going to build this network marketing company. He didn't even know if he had the right compensation plan. He didn't know any of that. He just knew that he had a concept. He wanted to do it with network marketing, and he wanted to build residual income for not just hundreds, not just thousands, but millions of people. That's what Cody wanted to do. And I saw it in his eyes. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this too. And I got busy. Now, you see, I didn't have the opportunity to work full-time when I started. All I could do was do a little bit every single day. And we started to build this business, and Cody says, hey, we might need to change things around a little bit. So we started to look at different compensation plans. He got a few people involved. He got a couple of people like Jimmy and Jordan and other people involved, and we created this compensation plan that we had today. This compensation plan that we wanted it heavy on the back end. You know what that means? That means that if you build it and you walk away, remember what wealth is? When you stop doing it, it continues. So we built this compensation plan so that you could literally walk away and the money comes in month after month, year after year, decade after decade, centuries after centuries. That's what the compensation, because Cody told me he was going to never quit. And that when he passed on, he wanted our families to be able to have this compensation come in on and on and on and on. And that's what Cody dreamed about. So that's what we did. We got busy. 2005, we started to put together a compensation plan that will allow you to create some money up front so that because, you know, people that they think that they got to make money up front. So we created this compensation so that you could have money up front, and then you could build a massive residual income. Now, whether you wanted to make a little or a lot, this is what this program's all about. And it's a product that everybody uses. I love it, what you said earlier. You know, Jimmy Dick painted this in my mind a long time ago. We have a product that doesn't offend anybody. Okay? We have a product that doesn't offend anybody, unless you write bad words. But it doesn't. And Jimmy Dick says it. If you like speckled puppies and babies, you like us. And if you don't, you're mean and ugly, and we don't want you anyway. We don't attract bad people. And if bad people come in, guess what happens? They're out pretty fast. Because our product is so incredible. It shows goodness. It also creates, I remember Cody talking about, I want to help your family create financial freedom. And so what we did is we created this compensation plan. And I'm going to go over it briefly. Jimmy did a beautiful job on that video. He explained it very well. There's one thing that we do. We build success units. Jordan did an incredible job saying, you replace yourself. Did you get that out of there? Your job is to replace yourself. So build success units and replace yourself with other people that are building success units. That's really all I need to do up here. But they said, oh, DeMarr, you got to go over the circles and the little things and all that stuff. So I got to click some stuff here, and we'll go ahead. We're going to talk about this compensation overview. Hey, I'm glad there's nobody in front of me because I'm spraying. Are they getting that on camera? I'm spraying pretty good today. And so I don't mind it, though, because I don't mind it. So it's not clicking. There we go. Let's try that. Okay. When you come into this business, you come in as a distributor, and you're a blank page. There we go. Okay, that's you. There's the circle. Now, I like squares. I asked them to do squares. They wouldn't do it. They said people are familiar with circles more than they are squares. So they're doing circles, okay? You come in as a managed distributor. Now, you can come in at $50, non-refundable deposit, but you don't get all the benefits. Most people who want to be successful, in fact, our most successful people come in as managers. Our successful people come in as marketing distributors. Why? So they can get all the tools and everything they need. So you come in, and what is the first thing you have to do? Jimmy said it really well. You got to go and acquire a few customers. Customers create the residual income. So you go out and you get a few customers. You can go out and get one $31 subscribed customer or two $9.80 customers. And I love those two options. I love that in order to get your qualifiers, you need to have subscribing customers. You know why? Because that means that they're going to use it month after month after month. Cody said it earlier today. We have the highest, or he said it in the video, not earlier today, he said it in the video. We have the highest retention rate in anybody in the direct selling industry. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Now, when I go out and gather my customers, what I like to do is I like to ask people a real simple question. Do you want to just send cards, or do you want to send cards and gifts? And the reason I say that is because I found out about a statistic. Do you mind if I talk about that, Cody? Okay. That I found out that it's important to get people sending cards, but you realize that 99% of all of our retail customers never send gifts because a box of brownie costs about $10 if you go on a retail package, and most people won't spend that. So I try to ask people that simple question. Would you like, when I'm gathering customers, I have them watch the video, and I say this real simply. Do you want to send just cards, or do you want to send cards and gifts? And if they say cards and gifts, then I recommend that they get on the $31 package, because that's where most of the gifts are sent. Now, didn't we just talk about gifts earlier today and yesterday? And we've been talking about gifts for how long? For a long time. We're pretty excited about that. That means volume. But go ahead and talk a little bit about that. I mean, go ahead and when you start out, you want to get your customers. You want to do it. If you do that in the first 7 days, you get $50. That's the most important $50 that somebody will ever get. A lot of people will get that $50 and they'll go spend $100 celebrating. That happens a lot. So you want to make sure that that happens. The next thing that you want to do is that once you've done that, you become a senior distributor. That increases your income by 40%. So if you become a senior distributor before you sponsor your first MD, what happens is you're going to get paid $40 extra. So you're going to make $140. And if you do that within the first 30 days, okay, and you get Q qualified. Now, what does Q qualified mean? Jimmy went over it. I don't have to go over a lot of it. Is you get yourself and two other people, you've got your $93, but you get $93 worth of volume, okay, in your organization. Okay, does that make sense? You do that, you become a certified trainer. Certified trainer just means that as you start to build your business and you go through the videos that Jimmy went through, then they'll pay you an additional $40 for helping and guiding those people. As a certified trainer, if you guide them through the training, the company's going to pay you an additional $40. And Dave and Lori and all of the master certified trainers explained that just earlier. Okay, now what happens? Once you become a manager, it's real simple. You're also a CT if you do it in 30 days. You got your Q qualified. You go out and find 3 MDs. You help them become an SD. It's going to release some money. You're going to get a raise. $240 is now you're going to get when you bring someone in the business. Now, when they go out, someone's doing this for me. I don't have to do it. Is that you, Dave? Okay. I'm just, hey. And okay, that's all you need to know. In fact, you can hum the compensation plan. $100. See? Okay, so you become a manager, you go out and help people, all of a sudden there's some leadership bonuses that you get. Now, the best way that I like to look at it is that you start out in a house. And in that house, you start out in the kitchen. And as you meet a few requirements, they open a door. And the next door you go in, they add money to it. So when you become a manager now, they've added more money. And in that room, as it starts to grow, and people, now remember, people are wanting to try to go in their own rooms too. And every time they do that, they add more people into that room. And that means more upfront money that you can make. Now remember, none of this money gets paid unless what happens? Customers are gathered. We get paid not for recruiting people. We don't get paid a dime for recruiting people. We only get paid for gathering the customers. And when those customers are gathered, they release these bonuses. And so there's a $100 bonus as a manager. You go to the next level once you become a oops, what'd I do? Oh, go back, please. Go back. Yeah, I know. Jimmy taught me very well. Jimmy taught me to make lots of mistakes. So as you become a manager, once you get 3 people and you help them become SD and you find a total of 12 people in your manager group, you advance to senior manager. Now you get all those bonuses, the stuff, okay, and then you become a senior manager. And once you become a senior manager, see, I got the circles. I got this. Let's hurry up and get through this. Come on, okay. Now you become a senior manager. And once you're a senior manager, by the way, it's real exciting, this kind of money, because what happens is you help people get their customers. You get an additional $50 bonus for doing this as a senior manager. As a senior manager, you can make up to $180 in your senior manager room. Remember now, your manager, you just advanced, they opened a door in your house, and now you have another group. Now remember, you got the kitchen going, you got the living room going, you got the bedroom going, you got them all going. Okay, now you're a senior manager, you got this room going, and all you have to do in order to advance to the next room is do what? Get 5 senior managers in that room, and then it will advance you to the executive. As an executive, you make an extra $30. I love this, Dave. I'm just going to put this in my pocket. Who's doing all that? AJ, you're great. Love you, brother. Come on up on stage. I want you to talk. Okay, so what happens? You become an executive, you get an extra $30 bonus, and then what happens? You can make up to $180 every time someone comes into that room. Now, once you get 2 executives in your executive room, you can advance to a senior executive. Now, you'll notice that the percentages, or the money gets smaller, goes along. That's because you have a lot more people building. You've heard Jordan say lots of times, the money is in the little things, not the big things. What, Dave? You get unlimited depth on this. Come on up and do this for me, Dave. Okay, he's excited. I remember with the first time, I got to tell you a little story. Then you become a senior executive. That's where Dave and Lori are right now. They love it. They became a senior executive. They were excited about the money. I remember the first time that I talked to Dave and Lori. I sponsored Dave and Lori. I remember when I got in, I started talking about this money. And I said, Dave and Lori, you want to get as many people as you can to advance to your level. Did I not say that? And Dave says, why? I make less money. And I says, no, Dave, you make more. The more people you get to advance in your organization, the faster or the more money you're going to make and the more residual you'll make. And this is just the fun stuff up front. I'm going to talk about the residual in a minute. But once you become a senior executive, all you have to do is get 2 executives again, and then you become an eagle. And all that means is you make an extra $5 in the upfront money when you start building your business. And those $5 add up. They add up very, very, very well. You know, someone asked me saying, how does the money work? And I said, very well. Very, very well. And as you start to understand this compensation plan, you start to understand. And by the way, you don't have to understand all of this stuff that I do. I'm kind of a numbers guy. I kind of stay up at night, and I kind of play around with numbers because I don't sleep very well. And so I'll just kind of do this, that, and kind of figure out these things. And then I figured it out one day. But you don't have to do this. What did Jimmy say earlier today? All you have to do is learn to do what? Success units. And then what did Jordan say? Teach other people to do the same thing. If you'll do that, you'll advance. You'll advance through the system, and you'll start making more money. This is my favorite part of the compensation plan. I call this the mother load. We're talking about the monthly commissions, and I don't want you to change anything yet back there. I want you to just look at this blank page. Because when you start your business, this is kind of like how your business is. This is my favorite part because this is the leverage that the walk-away income. This is the leveraged residual income. This is the stuff that Jimmy Dick, Jordan Adler taught me many years ago when they were mentors of mine in another company. They draw these little circles, and that was great. But what I really got excited about is what's called the downline organization. And they taught me to focus on 3 who get 3 for 27, who get 3 for 81, who gets 3, 243, who get 3, 729, who get 3, 2,187 people. And I started looking at that, and I thought, wow, if I could get 3 people who got 3, who got 3, who got 3, who got 3, and I had just 1,000 people on my 7th level that I don't even know. How cool would that be if they all just had about $100 worth of volume, and I just made 5% off of that? This is the power right here. This is what I was excited about. And I want to go to this first slide because we get paid 7 levels. If you don't ever make to a leader position, if you can just go out and find 3 people and then help them find 3 people and help them find 3 people, you get paid some unconscionable amount of money. I'm serious, and it's powerful. Okay, now they're not working with me, buddy. There we go. That's what I want to see. See what happens when you build 3. The second level, they have 3 for 9. It goes on. You can make a 2% override on all the cards and all the gifts that go out every single month. Now, I want you to think about it. If you had 1,000 people on your 7th level there who all used $100 a month on average, and that's not unconceivable now with our gifting program. That's very, very, very doable. How much is that? That's $5,000 a month in residual income. You realize that people will die for that kind of residual income? I mean, seriously, there are people that will fight you in a crowd and beat you up to get that every month. No, really, they will beat you up. They'll come and punch you right out. I mean, they'll just come up, just boom, because they want that, huh? I just know that because I've had it happen to me once before. So they'll come after that money. That's something that comes in every single month. That's walk-away money. That's what's powerful. And if you can just get to the manager level, okay, now think about this. You get to the manager level and add an additional 5% to that. If you had 1,000 people on your 7th level at 100, there's $10,000 a month. You can live pretty good off of that. I mean, phenomenally off of that. Now, here's the cool thing. If you get to senior manager, and they don't make it that hard, about 15 people stops you from becoming a senior manager. 15 people that you can get in your business, and they don't have to come directly from you. Now you're looking at about $15,000 a month if you had 1,000 people who had $100,000 a month, $100 a month in volume. 15,000. Now if you get to the executive level, now we're talking some serious stuff. $20,000 a month. Now I need to This is hypothetical. It doesn't grow like this. But it does. Let me tell you, when I hear that and someone says, oh, it's hypothetical and it won't actually grow like that. Bull crap, I'm living it. It works that way. It works. Now, you might not have 3 who would get exactly 3, but you might have 10 who get enough that makes that 27 on the 3rd level, and so on and so forth, and it does work. Okay, now this is exciting. Senior executive. Now we're talking 20% on the 7th level is 25%. 25%. Just of $100,000 a month in volume. Now as an eagle. Wow. Wow. Now if you taught this to other people and they got excited about the 2, the 5, the 10, the 15, and then they got a few people excited who got excited about the 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then they got some more people, and then they got some more people. My heck, it's a big deal. Wow. That's where the money is. That's why I do this. That's why I do it, because it creates residual income. This is the good stuff. This is the stuff that you want. This is the stuff that dreams are made of. This is the exciting stuff. You see, when I started many years ago, 9 years ago, I was a broke kid from Utah. And my wife calls me a kid. She says I never got past 16 mentally. So that's a true statement, by the way. She says that. But the reality is this, is that I was broke. I had no idea how I was ever going to get myself out of the debt that I'd created. I created the American dream. That was debt. Isn't that what the American dream has been over the last so many years? People have taught you to get in debt and all this kind of stuff. Well, I'd done it real well. And when I started, I saw this little card company that may help me get out of that situation. I was broke. I met Cody Bateman, and he told me this was going to be a $1 billion company. I believed him, and I went to work, and I started passing out DVDs. You see, I started passing out DVDs like this. Now, it was a little bit different, but the message was the same. And I started showing this to about 3 people every single day. And I said, will you watch this? Some of them said no. In fact, a lot of them said no. Then I started putting $100 on the front of it, $100,000. And I'd say, hey, listen, would you watch it for $100,000? And they'd go, sure. And I said, watch it and see if you see what I see. I started doing that kind of stuff, and I got people to watch it. Jordan was one of them. Jimmy was one of them. And there's many, many other people that watch this DVD like this. And I built my business on this kind of a concept. And I created the kind of residual income that you see on the screen. That other stuff's fun. That keeps you so that you keep going. But the residual's where the power is. And after a year and a half, I was able to replace my income. 4.5 years, I was able to get myself out of debt. And I can say that I can do what I want to do, when I want to do it, and who I want to do it with. I never thought that I would be able to say that ever in my life, but I can today. Now, does anybody know what this is? It's 10 and 2. 10 and 2. That's what you learn when you fly fish. Many years ago in southern Idaho, my father used to take me and my brother out fly fishing. My father passed away just about 2.5 years ago. And he lived in a assisted living area, But before he passed away, he used to ask my brother and I to go fly fishing for him. Before sending out cards, I wasn't able to go and do those kinds of things because I was working 10 hours a day and didn't have the time. And he'd say, Terry, DeMarr, will you go fly fishing for me today? And come back and tell me the stories. Show me the fish. So we'd go out and do it. And I still do that today. My father's up there. But I still, now I'm able to go fly fishing. And when I'm on that river, I'm able to get really close to my father. You see, you see this right here? That's a fly. I wear it on every suit jacket. It's one of my dad's flies. I love my dad, and I get to go fly fishing. One of the most incredible things in my life is being able to get my waders on and go wade in a river somewhere in the world. I love it. And remember my dad. And my dad used to always say this to me. He said, DeMarr, it doesn't do any good to go unless you get your line in the water. Doesn't do any good for us to dream about building a network marketing business unless we go and get our line in the water. You got to go out and show people this business. That's how you build it. You can't just sit there. You got to do it. This last Monday, I was able to put a trip together for anybody who wanted to come. And several of us were able to go out on the Provo River and enjoy one of the most favorite things me to do, and that's be on the river and celebrate what my dad taught me many years ago. And what's cool is I was able to hire a video crew, and they had this little drone helicopter. It was the coolest thing in the world. And I was able to, several of you were there, and we were able to do a dinner afterwards and everything, and invited Cody Bateman up there. He came up on his Harley, and he didn't fish with us because he doesn't like to fish. He's kind of weird that way. No, I kid. But he came up, and we were able to enjoy a dinner on the river. Now, think about that. I was able to invite people to come on the river, pay for the whole thing, the dinner and everything. We all were able to pay for the whole thing and go out on the river, do the dinner, and capture it on film. And today, I just want to share that with you, if that's okay. And I'm going to end today with this video. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here today.
And if I were to die today, my life would be more than okay. For the time I spent with you, it's like a dream come true. And if this was the last goodbye, no more tears to dry, I would say it one more time. It's been more than fine. How could I know? And how could I show? So say what you will before it's too late. Say what you will. Say what know? And how could I show